Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's Antonio checking in. And I want to talk about 3 things that stood out to me. Was it either this morning or the other morning when I was, I think, taking my daughter to school or whatever. It was morning time. And I realized that, at least based on my experience, it's 3 things that I can stand on that will help elevate or at least help me elevate my vibration, my aura, and help me to emit on a higher frequency or emit a better frequency. You get what I'm saying? And the first thing, y'all already know, but if you don't, the first thing for me was meditation. It's an airport, private jet airport where I'm located. So y'all might hear a lot of airplanes. But meditation has allowed me to reach new heights of consciousness, new awareness. You know, it deepened my discernment. It enhanced my intuition. It keeps me calm in the midst of chaos. You know, it allows me to become more of a observer. You know, whether I meditate with music or without music, I mean, I benefit from both. I've done both. I meditated in loud places with noise because what I've learned is that meditating with a lot of noise around, it really allows you to hone in and block out distractions because life is not quiet. So while the ideal situation would be to meditate in a quiet setting or whatnot, what are you gonna do when it's chaotic? And once I've really learned how to meditate with like noise in the background that's not music, it instantly allowed me to realize how centered that meditation has allowed me to become, you know. And I'm 34. I probably realistically started meditating that I can remember 19, 20. I'm gonna just roll with 20. Probably like around 20. That's when I really was like, started introducing meditation to my life. Another private plane. I like sitting in private planes because it just allowed me to work with my imagination. Like, man, one day I'm gonna fly a private plane just because. But definitely meditation has allowed me on my journey to raise my vibration to a permanent, you know, vibration. Allowed me to increase my aura. You know, just allow me to just operate on a higher vibration even when I'm not feeling the best. And once again, forgive me if these airplanes keep rolling by and you can't hear me. I'm doing my best. And the second thing that I feel like has allowed me to raise my vibration and operate on a higher frequency or emit a higher frequency is nature. Nature. I always been a fan of nature. You know, I always find me a nature trail. I always find me some serene vibe, you know, to go and relax. And for years and years, I didn't even realize the importance of nature to the human body, to the human mind. You know, it would just, honestly, nature was somewhere I would go where I would just smoke my joints. I'm just be real. That used to just be my getaway. I used to find a little nature trail, smoke joints, chill out, and that'd be it. A park, nature trail. But I noticed like even when I wasn't smoking joints, I would still like enjoy the nature trail. I was like, man, and I wasn't even deeming it as, oh, I love nature. It was just, I lived by a nature trail at one point. It was accessible. I walk it. And, that was that. And then I realized that this became an escape for me. It became, it became part of my everyday life. And I started noticing how I would feel after my time that I was spending in nature. I started noticing like the relief that I was getting. I started noticing like the clarity. And I even started noticing like my aura was a little different the more I spent time in nature. And this before I even knew that just spending time in nature and connecting and grounding is what I was doing unknowingly, that this would be beneficial to me 10, 12, 13 years down the road. And the third thing that allowed me to raise my vibration, vibrate higher, emit a better frequency, it's a train now. It's either airplane or train. The third thing is studying, but not just studying anything. Studying personal development, studying my belief system, studying what's going to help me, get to that next level of awareness, just study and questioning everything. Why do we do this? Why do we eat this? Why do we celebrate this holiday? Why do we believe in this saying? Why do, why are these superstitions at play? Just questioning everything, studying everything about the mind. And if this thing about manifestation is true, why can we use our mind to manifest? What is the subconscious? Why does that control 90% of our, life? How can I change that if that is true, And I didn't realize how much studying would be needed to change. And I didn't even realize that it was a lifelong thing. And I didn't even realize that just by the mere fact of studying that it will change you. Your belief will start to change because you'll start to question things. And when you start to change, it's like all of these habits, these thoughts, these thought patterns, they will start being uprooted from my subconscious. And little did I know, I was developing into a new person to the point I started to look different. How I look today is crazy because I don't look nothing like how I used to look. I mean, granted, people who know me know it's me. But I've ran into people who know me and I had to be like, man, it's me, Tonio. They're like, oh, snap, bro, I ain't even recognize you, So studying is key, but even after studying, you have to apply. And I always thought that through my studying, I always thought that it was cool to, be able to plant a seed and create the life that you desire. No matter how far-fetched and how off the wall it seems, like, I just thought that was cool to me. I always had a mystical, mysterious side to me, so I felt like manifesting the life of my desires would fit me. But I didn't know the power of the subconscious, so to say. I didn't know how in depth, like, this manifestation, this life-changing subconscious reprogramming, I didn't realize the severity, and I didn't realize the change that came with it. I will always do surface changes, and I noticed that with my surface change, I would revert back to my old ways. And I realized that it was a programming, so I'm studying more. And even now, I realize that I've grown to a point where my vibration, my aura, it now resides on a certain level, if you will. And it's like I'm constantly unlocking new levels of awareness. And I realize that this is an ongoing thing, because I used to have the notion that, hey, if I reach a certain pinnacle or point in life, that, hey, I got it. I used to think that was it. I was reaching for this one particular moment in life where it's just confetti. And through my studying, I realized it don't work like that. It's a lifelong journey. It's a lifelong cultivation. You know, discipline equals wealth. You feel what I'm saying? People say health is wealth. That is true, but discipline is wealth. You know, through discipline, you can have it all, and I'm learning that. So those are really like the three things that really help me. Like, it may not work for you. It may do, but it's certain things that just work. And meditation is, out of all of those, meditation, well, you know what? All three of those have been proven. Like, you can go read articles about meditation, nature, and studying. But studying, you got to apply. But if you study something long enough, you will start to question whatever it is you're studying. That's just human nature. But meditation and nature, 100% has been proven. So those are the three things that's really been helping me on my journey, you know, to become more aware, more conscious, to live the life that I desire, man. I thought that I'd chime in and, you know, give you guys a little update on what's been going on in my mind. So if you got little things that help you out on your journey, you know, comment below and let me know. But those are the three things: meditation, nature, and studying. But after you studying, you got to apply, you know. And maybe we have something in common. Maybe those three things you do as well. Who knows? But now that I look back, I'm glad that I do those three things, because I'm just operating at a different frequency, man, and it feels good. But anyway, I ain't gonna hold y'all too long. I'm gonna go back, do my thug thizzle. You did. Man, y'all be good. Y'all be great, man. And until next time, man. Peace.